Beautiful people, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Hangout. And yes, sifikile kola xesha whereby we get to hang out with you guys onto our favorite TV station, which is Mpumakapa TV. And yes, elam igama, it is Uzinhle Nqeza. And from this very minute until the last minute of 4:30, serving you and also bringing you a guest that you guys need to have a conversation with. Yes, they're going to be having a conversation with me, but it's all about you guys. We're trying to bring people that are going to bring positivity and also going to motivate you in a very good way at home. And yesterday on the show, you can expect to have all things from all different categories that are going to be up at a studio with us. So we're going to be talking with people that have a background of the art. We're also going to be talking about the SOPA, which is the State of the Province legislation that is going to be happening later on this week. And everyone at home, please make sure that you guys communicate with us on all our social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV. And yes, our WhatsApp line, it is 083 690 0530. But let us quickly go for a short break, and then we'll be coming back with the first guest. Well, beautiful people, I had promised you Bantu who are going to give you guys izinto abazenzayo and also get to talk about their projects that they are involved. And right now on the grey couch of our favorite show, which is the Hangout, I am seated next to the man which he goes by uAtenkosi. And yes, uAtenkosi kenake uzakasixelela uba in which industry is he coming from, and also why is he here today on the Hangout. Welcome to the Hangout. How are you?
Hello Sisi, ndiyaphila khondo kunjani ku?
Ndiyaphila nam. Can you please just briefly tell us, especially our viewers at home who don't know you, as to who you are and also what field of work are you in?
Thank you for the opportunity, Sisi. My name is Atenkosi Baliso. I am originally from Queenstown, but I work in East London at the Eastern Cape Development Corporation. My portfolio there is for the creative industries, development within the creative industries. So I'm a coordinator, arts and craft. So basically what we do is we develop the creative industries within craft, fine art, leather and footwear. So we do a number of projects within the province, especially focusing on enterprise development, business development, product development, and market access.
Lovely stuff. And also, you're talking about being involved in the craft. Let's get to talk about how do you guys get out and try and find artists that you guys going to be working hand in hand with.
Okay, firstly, ECDC partnered with the Department of Small Business Development and established a craft shop, which is based in East London. So the craft shop is where it's a permanent market access platform for Eastern Cape crafters. So what we do in order to get new talent is that each and every quarter we travel the province in search of new companies, new crafters. And then, so we select the products and then we sell at the shop on their behalf, only at a 20% fee for each product that we sell. So the craft shop acts as a database, our starting database. That's where we get to see what interventions these companies need. So, yeah.
Lovely stuff, Putwam. And also, let's get to talk about in terms of the project that ECTC also has and is trying to bring out to the artists as well. What are those, and also for artists that would like to benefit on those in the future, how can they go about that?
You're talking about this project that we have now. Yes. Yeah, the Tubalako, it's a craft and visual art competition and exhibition. So it's been running for the past, I should say, 11 years, because it started in 2014. But we had to stop due to COVID 2020. 2022, we had a virtual exhibition. So now we're trying to beef it up by including it at the Mandela Bay Arts Festival. So the Litobalabco Craft Competition is an opportunity for artists within the province to win a cash prize to support their companies. And it's also a platform where we get to test new companies as well. and it also assists these companies in seeing which level they're at the moment. So this has been an opportunity for the entire province, but since it's based here in Gqeberha, it's always been based here in Gqeberha. So we have to focus mainly on artists here in Gqeberha, but also share with the entire province as well.
Lovely stuff. Do you guys have any sort of other projects besides Ilithuba Lethu that you guys have for other artists who have not gotten the opportunity to be part of this right now, for future events that you guys are going to be hosting?
Okay, yes. Besides the craft shop that I mentioned in East London, we also run a project in partnership with the Department of Small Business Development, which is a market access project, where we send companies that come from out of the craft shop. After we've examined their product, we send them to markets like your Decorexes, your Decorex Cape Town, Decorex Johannesburg. We also send them to exhibitions like your Rand shows, your National Arts Festival, based in Makanda. So we've got a number of market access platforms that we undertake in the province, even international as well. But we first have to get our companies to undergo our trainings, our enterprise development and product development, so that they can strengthen the quality of their products before we send them to these markets.
Lovely stuff. Before we close it off, can you please just try and give us the details for the event that is going to be happening, which is Ilithuba Lakho, and also how can people get to find themselves within the whole exhibition of it?
Okay, so first and foremost, the official opening of the exhibition is tomorrow, the 20th at 6 o'clock. It's at the Nelson Mandela Bay Art Museum, right next to St. George's Cricket Field, Cricket Stadium. So the exhibition is going to run for a month. So the closing is going to be on the 22nd of March. So we invite people to come and view the exhibition. In fact, start with the official opening and get the vibe and see what the exhibition is about. And then for people who are unable to make it tomorrow for the opening, they can go there anytime. The exhibition will run for a month.
Thank you so much, man, for joining us right here on the Hangout. Well, beautiful people, that was Oatenkosi and Kenake. He brought us everything that has to do with Ilithuba Lakho. But Tina is we're going to take you guys to a short, quick ad break. Please make sure that you guys stick through, because we will be coming back right after this. Beautiful people, welcome back to the Hangout. And yes, you guys do know that there is the thing that is currently happening, which is the State of the Province address, and it is SOPA legislature. So what is currently happening is that we're going to be talking with people that actually get to mention when the State of the Province address is happening. And next to me, I have got Olwetu. And Olwetu is one of the students, and what was actually happening, and also the promises that the government has promised its students, were they fulfilled, and also what are the ways that the government can get to change and also get to accommodate its students in South Africa. But first of all, let us welcome him onto the Hangout. Welcome, Putuam. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good as well. Man, for people at home who don't know you, let's get to talk about you and also your role as a student at Nelson Mandela University.
All right. Thank you very much once again. My name is Olwetu Tlauka. Of course, I'm a member of the EFF and the EFF Youth Command at Nelson Mandela University. I come from UTNIC. 6242. I happen to be a student and a student leader simultaneously at Nelson Mandela University.
Lovely stuff. Let's talk about you having to be a leader for the students, right? And let's get to talk about the struggles that students are currently facing. And there was a SOPA, and the government promised the people, and some were delivered and some were not delivered. Let's get to talk about the issues that students get to face.
Yeah, you know, SOPA historically is always a puppet show, a show for the Eastern Cape Premier to just lie to the people of South Africa, and particularly the people of the province, Eastern Cape. You know, he will make mention of development programs, uplifting of youth, unemployment, and industrialization. But none of those things actually come to fruition. We always hear about them on TV, but in terms of implementation, it's always where are these things that have been he has been mentioning in his sopas. You know, for the past 5 years, he has been making mention that they want to alleviate unemployment in the province, particularly for young people. But up until date, we have so many graduates who are still lingering around the streets of South Africa, particularly here in the province of Eastern Cape. If we bring this into context here at Nelson Mandela Metro, you find that there are so many graduates who are standing in Central, females that are selling their bodies just for them to survive. And we have so many young men and boys who are engaging in drugs, alcohol, and to a greater extent are the ones that are perpetuating the criminal activities that we see in the metro. They are made to do all manner of things. You know, they sell their labor in a cheap rate. They shoot people. You see the shootings that are happening. They're done by young people. They're not done by anyone else that is old. The old people actually they send these young men to do their dirty work. You know, these are people who are in high business ranks, and they are also people who are in high political offices who hire these young men because they are vulnerable. They do not have employment. They are graduates. They have certificates in their hands, but because of the circumstances that they find themselves in, they have to go and make a living anyway. How? And that's the circumstance we find ourselves in as young people in the metro and to a great extent the province of Eastern Cape.
Lovely. And also, Upremia uzawuthetha, what are your expectations through ispeech sakhe? And also, mhlambi, what other ways can you think angaza nazo so that the issues that the youth is currently facing can get resolved, at least in nje kancinci?
Well, it would be naivety from our side to think that the Premier is going to touch on the issues that are facing young people. For example, the Premier has zero regard of higher learning institutions. We know that there's been a publication that he himself got a fraudulent qualification from one of the esteemed universities in the province, University of Fort Hare. So it would be naivety from us to think that he will regard people in higher learning institutions in a much better manner. You know, we obviously wish to hear that there will be a bailout fund for our students who are in higher learning institutions who have historic debt and cannot get their qualifications. Because without their qualifications, it means that all the years of education that they have been engaged in, those years are useless because they cannot get the qualifications because they have historic debt. And universities across the country, they have a policy that does not give out these qualifications because people still owe the institutions. Yeah. So that therefore means we are going to have a lot of young people lingering around the streets who will engage in these criminal activities, who will engage in drugs, alcohol abuse, and all manner of other substance abuses that are there. So we actually want to hear him speak directly to the issues that are facing young people in the country generally. Particularly those that are in higher learning institutions. TVET colleges, we have people who are doing vocational studies, you know. There are people that are doing level studies, your engineering, your theory studies, business management, your management studies, your public relations studies. They are found in TVET colleges. So after those students are done with their N4, N5s, N6, they are expected to enter into an 18 months program that seeks to give them an opportunity to have a diploma. Without their diploma, they can never get into any serious workplace. You know, also equally in the university space, we expect graduates to go and have internships. These internships are opportunities that are granted by industries that are in the province, in the country broadly. So if we do not have a program that speaks to industrialization and employment from the SOPA today, then it means that young people are still disregarded in the process and they are not taken serious. So that's really the crux of the matter of the SOPA today.
Lovely stuff. And also, before we close it off, what are the short words that you have for the youth so that nabo bakwazi uba to take the stand and also try and fight against the inequality that is currently happening?
Well, we first have to organize ourselves. We need to realize that the future belongs to us now. The future is in our hands. And the moment we realize that as young people, we'll be united towards a certain fight. And that fight is to make sure that the government, through various programs, hears us as young people. You know, it does not matter. We don't have to be in high learning institutions. You can be a community member that has a business, for example. Those small micro management businesses, those businesses actually contribute to the economy. So we cannot disregard students. We cannot disregard young people who are in communities who find themselves in other various entities in life broadly that do not have to do with education. So I cannot sit here and speak only on students and people who are in higher learning institutions, disregarding our brothers and sisters who, by virtue of being young and black, poor, who live in these impoverished communities like ours, who also have high hopes of having a government that cares for them. So we also need to reimagine our strength as young people. We are the future of the country. If we are able to voice out our frustrations and challenge the government, that is what will shake things and actually turn things around into our advantage as young people.
Lovely stuff, man. Oluwethu, thank you so much for joining us right here on the Hangout. Siyabulela kakhulu bhuti wam. Well, beautiful people, into sayenza thina ngoku is we're going to take a short, quick break, but we'll be right back onto your screen. So please make sure that you guys do not leave us. If you miss us, continue engaging with us on social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV. And our WhatsApp line, it is 083 690 0530. Tina, sapina sibonane kwakhona after this. Beautiful people, welcome back from the end. Hope you guys can manage amanzi so that you guys can have a gulp of drink, and also continuing following us on social media platforms. And right now I'm going to be talking with someone who is a fitness model, someone who is a personal trainer, and he is an actor as well. So we're going to dive into his career and get to hear about umsebenzi wakhe uyintoni kanye kanye. We once had him last year, but we just want to know about wenza ntoni, and also kulona unyaka, what can we get to expect from him. Hi Kanyo, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
I am good, man. Can you please just briefly explain to us about Wenungbani, and also what industry are you in, disciplines that you have under your belt?
Guys, I am Kanye to Philip. I'm 26 years of age and Isuka Impuma Koloni. I'm currently residing in Johannesburg. I moved here in 2022, and that's where everything sort of, elevated in terms of my career. I am in personal training for 7 years. I'm an ex-bodybuilder. I'm a commercial model and pursuing acting right now. So a lot of things are looking up this year, and I just want to take everything to greater heights. Yeah.
Lovely. A true definition of disebenza umzimba wami to bring money, but in a positive way, because let's get to talk about you being a commercial model, and also talking back to the journey of you when you started.
So, thank you for that question. That's a very good question. Commercial modeling, when people tell you, hey, but you look good. Don't you want to try this modeling thing? And then it's one person, it's two, it's three, and then it's a whole group of people like, you know what, guys, let me give this thing a shot. I think personally, when people are for you in that regard, it just gives it more purpose when you pursue that passion. It's always been a passion, and I never knew how to get it, how to do it. So I found a very good agency, and from last year June, I signed up with them, and I booked my first big job with Gordon's International in September. So it took me a couple of months to lift off that career. And a lot of people think you sign up with an agency and you just blow up. It's not the case, guys. And I think with this generation, we are so impatient. We all want to just be, the top 1%. But guys, when you're patient and when you're passionate, things really come together. And then when it does, you appreciate it so much. So yeah, so it's always been a dream, and I'm chasing it. I'm chasing it.
Lovely. So let's get to talk about when you're preparing for your craft, because modeling, as much as you're walking off ramps and you're just standing in front of camera and just being in poses, but it's a craft and people don't really get to understand the amount of work that is put behind it. Let's get to talk about that preparation when you know that you do have a casting that is going to be happening in the next coming 3 months or in 2 months.
So, people don't know that modeling is kind of 24/7, guys. You can't, you can't relax. You can't afford a pimple. You can't afford a bad hair day. You always have to look on point. So one of the main things that I take very seriously when I'm preparing for castings is my skincare routine. So face wash, your facial moisturizer, make sure you smell good, you look good, and then when it's time to perform, it just oozes out of you because you have that confidence. Kuba yaziva ba ugrand, So skincare is very important. What you eat. You can't just eat anything. You can't just have fast foods, whenever you feel like it. Because technically you're not like a normal human being. And whenever people see you in public, they see that image on social media and they sort of have those expectations when they see you in person. So there's pressure to it as well, but it's positive pressure, So as long as you keep yourself, you know, tight, keep yourself tight in terms of physically, you're not bloated, you're not having too much water, too much food, or too much bad food, and you sort of just sleep. Sleep is so important, guys. Like, when your friends say, guys, let's go out, I'm like, guys, I've got a casting tomorrow. Can we just run it back, Wabona? So also the people around you are so important because you can't have people that are going to take you off your course. So I also say your support, your family, your friends, when once they clued up about the industry and they know that you're pursuing this career, it helps you a lot just to stay, level-minded and always ready.
Lovely stuff, man. You did mention earlier on that usuka apa ePhondweni and currently you reside at Johannesburg. Let's get to talk about having to do that transition and you coming from apa eBhayi and having to now to go to a world stage of competition and having to now feel the heat of having to fight for your next bread.
Yeah, I've got so many different ways to answer that question. I'm gonna try to simplify it. So when I moved here, I was like, guys, I don't care. I just want to move here. And once I'm here, I'll start to figure things out. And that in itself, I think it's very scary. I think I underestimated that reality until I got here. Because, everyone says Joburg is the big bad jungle. And, once this jungle swallows you, you sort of lose yourself. Fortunately, that wasn't the case with me. I knew exactly what I wanted. And coming from a small town, everything is brand new. You want to do this, you want to go out, you want to go there, but you need to have that discipline that discipline, and then you have to combine it with the consistency because things don't just happen, guys. You don't just, I think people think you go to these big cities and you just blow up. I remember when I went home one December, everyone thought I was a millionaire. I was like, how, guys? I was like, relax, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of consistency. It's all the discipline you have plus more. And I think that would be the take-home message from today. That discipline and the consistency. It's not easy. Having the right support and the people beside you is what makes it, more worthwhile. And yeah, you get scared sometimes, but you have to just throw that fear to the side and just be like, I'm here now. I'm not going to get this opportunity again. So I need to operate. I need to go get.
Lovely stuff, man. And also, before we close it off, I just want you to speak to the young ones that would love, the young boys that would love to get into the modeling career, but also because of they have that fear that it's such a cruel industry and also the chances might not be that high. What are those words of advice you can actually give to them?
Put your best foot forward. Because you never know if you are the next Samuel L. Jackson, the next Robert Downey Jr. You just never know. So just put your front foot forward, take every opportunity, and just make it count.
Lovely stuff, man. And also on social media, where can we get to follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at KP_the People's Champ. TikTok, Pretty Boy John. That's my other persona. So it's very good, guys, to have a different persona to your actual profession, just so that people can see different sides and personalities.
Yeah. Stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Hangout. And I hope that Opina Ubuya Apepon, when you're going to come back and also still visit us Ube Ubuya with something bigger and better for us to talk about right here onto the studios, onto our studios. But you know, as the Hangout team, Siktisela Konke Okuhle, well, beautiful people. That was Okanyolo Phillips, and he joined us right here on the Hangout. But now, is we're going to take a short, quick ad break. But please make sure that you guys at home stick through to channel 260 because tina tophinda sibuye kwakhona ngogoko. You guys are having a good time, but you are still tuned in Nati Apha on channel 260. And yes, Gemnake Elam Igama, it is Uzintle. And Beninthatile ke siphakathi ngoku enkqubeni yethu, and I am going to be talking with a guy next to me. And Kenake, he's coming from student representative, and because the sekulomba wesopa, and also what does student expect about premier aitete ngalomba, and also the challenges that they are currently facing. But everyone at home, let us welcome him onto the Hangout. Welcome, Pudiwam. How are you?
No, thank you very much. I'm well. Hope you're well yourself. Greetings to yourself and your viewers.
Thank you so much, man. Can you please just try and introduce yourself to our viewers? Tell us your name and also what is your role in making sure that Dingo the students are met.
Okay, no, of course, as I've indicated, my name is Bonginkosi Shongwe. I am a student activist at Nelson Mandela University. And of course, I must take this opportunity and apologize on behalf of the SRC Deputy President. He had to attend an age and May committee, so he couldn't join you. So it's not disrespect, just that there were other commitments of students that he's facing. But basically, I'm a student leader. I spend some of my time outside of my studies to ensuring that we deal with the many challenges that face our students, from access, success. So when speaking about access, we're speaking about ensuring that all students are able to access institutions of higher learning, particularly those that come from poor working class backgrounds. So in relation to access, now when those students, we have managed to get them into the system, we must give them all the necessary tools and resources to be able to thrive academically so that they are able to complete their qualifications and go and make a contribution in society. So that is basically what I do.
Lovely stuff, man. And also right now we're talking everything SOPA, and we cannot really sideline the youth, because as much as we know that everything is dealt by our government, but also us as the youth, somehow, somewhere, we are affected. Let's get to talk about the youth and also the struggles that they've gotten to experience in terms of, yes, you guys are trying to make sure that by all means you're getting them eskolweni, and you need to make sure that everything that is going to make them and also Ijeni Yabo in schools becomes a success. They are provided those. But it does happen that not all the needs are met, and that leads to students having to struggle now in foreign cities that they don't know, and they don't have anyone to turn back to. So let's get to talk about the disappointment that the students have, especially to the whole speech that was said last year.
Yeah, look. The reality of the matter is that since in 1994, higher education has been in serious crisis. There has not been serious effort to deal with three fundamental issues. The first issue is the issue that higher education institutions in the country, not only in the province, they are unable to absorb the number of students that are produced by basic education. So basic education annually produces around almost 1 million students. So those students are supposed to be catered for by post-secondary school setting. However, the TVET colleges and private colleges and universities that are there, they are unable to absorb the number of students that are produced by basic education. So it means that in that almost 1 million students, we'll have about 700,000 that are idling, that find comfort in alcohol, in drugs, in crime, because they are unable to access a higher education institution. But secondly, those spaces that are there, we characterize them as commodified spaces, in a sense that they are only accessible to those that have access to financial resources. So those that come from poor working class backgrounds, which are a majority in our country, they struggle to access these institutions. So that is another phenomenon that characterizes higher education. And the last phenomenon is that it is in higher education that perpetuate the falsehood by races that Africans are inferior. In terms of the structures of the buildings, the names of the buildings, they perpetuate the idea that as black people are inferior. So they are still locked in the colonial imaginary. So those are the three fundamental issues that are characterizing, higher education in South Africa in the post, in the so-called democratic dispensation. However, there has not been meaningful work that has been done to deal with these structural issues. So the Premier has been making interventions in terms of donations, in terms of funding. However, there is no plan to deal with the structural issues at the provincial level. So as it's going to address us in terms of the state of the province address, we're hoping that at least it gives us a sense of what is going to happen to the reality that Abantuana that pass matric, they are unable to access institutions. For example, I'll make an example with my institutions, Nelson Mandela University. They received over 100,000 applications, but they can only cater for around 7,000 students. So that tells you the crisis that is there. So we want the Premier to tell us that at least in the next 5 years, I'm going to build 1 university and 5 TVET colleges. So that demonstrates a leadership that is willing to deal with this issue at the structural level. We want a leadership that says that postgraduate, there is no society that is interested in development that is not investing in postgraduate studies. Because to invest in postgraduate studies is to invest in research. So any government that is interested and is committed to development, they must invest in research. So currently the province is not doing anything to assist students that are pursuing postgraduate studies in our institutions of higher learning. So these are some of the issues that we're facing as students. There's a crisis of accommodation. If you can take a walkabout here in PE, you realize that a lot of our students are residing in areas that are surrounded by nightclubs and taverns. I mean, you saw the story of that Zanzo club in Hartfield. So imagine students residing in such environments. In the past, I think 3 years, we have lost 2 students that were shot in Central in Parliament, because those are not spaces that students are supposed to be residing. But a lot of our residencies are located in those spaces. So there is no believable plan from the government of the province, even in the metro, to try and deal with that crisis, that a lot of our students are residing in unsafe spaces. But outside the university, because a lot of young people are not in these institutions of higher learning. They are outside in the streets, eating drugs, engaging in crime. So the most pressing issue that we want to see the Premier address is the issue of unemployment. So in terms of the narrow definition, I think unemployment is around 31.9%, but the expanded definition, which includes people that are discouraged from seeking employment, is around 41.9%. So above 40% of the people in the Eastern Cape province are unemployed. So when the Premier delivers his address, he must be able to tell us that at least in the short to medium term, what are the interventions that are going to be put in place to deal with the issue of unemployment, particularly for young people. So those are the pressing issues that we want to see the Premier address. Yes.
Lovely stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Hangout. Unfortunately, but yeah, man, we loved your insight and also what you expect, and also having a voice of a youth that is currently facing as a struggles, and not taking someone who's coming from a privileged background to come and talk about issues that they don't really relate to. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Hangout. Well, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining us. Tina, so please make sure that you guys don't go anywhere. If you miss us, you do know what to do on social media platforms. Follow us. It is at Mpumakapa TV. Sanbona Tina, wakhona go. Beautiful people, welcome back. And yes, right now into Sayenza is Sizoivala Ingobo. And just so before we do that, we just want to give you guys a lowdown on what is going to happen, because we know that starting on the 21st, that is the opening. Ziyavulwa izdiko, iyaqawulwa i-ribbon for Umbaf, which is Mandela Bay Arts Festival. It's going to be happening, and it's going to start on the 22nd until the 2nd of March. The opening is on the 21st though. So please make sure that you guys definitely check out website Yabo and see which plays, which shows do you guys want to go and check out on Umbaf. And yes, there is going to be performances, there is going to be comedy, there is going to be workshops, there is going to be music, there is also going to be The Soil, Amanda Black, Joliza Ibaka Soul, there is going to be Unoma Potre. So guys, there is definitely a whole variety of entertainment that you guys can go and show and also go and check out onto the festival that is going to be happening. And also, how do you get to actually be part and also get to go to the shows? All you have to do is to go on the website. It is www.mbaf.co.za, and there is a whole website with different tickets, with different shows, and also ticket are as well different numbers, so they vary in numbers, but they don't go above interest go 300, right? So please make sure that you guys check that out. And also there is going to be EOGP's or our content convention that is going to be happening. Ulungelwa Makamfana is hosting her show there, which is called Ibinga as well. There is going to be Kwatika Lokungansomi, a beautiful fairy tale that is going to be having a cast such as Yokozela, Luvuyo Belu. I cannot wait to see him doing his first performance as well. And there's going to just be a variety, and also there's going to be Andy Swa giving us Intlombe as well. And beautiful people, all you have to do is to just go onto the website, buy those tickets, go out in numbers, share Imbaf, because all Imbaf it does is to bring the festival to us, and also it caters for our very own artist. And also there is going to be a jazz session with Ulifa as well that you guys need to check out. And also on the Geek Guide as well, there is a Save a Pet music trivia that is going to be happening at Victoria Park, Upper South End. And also on the 2nd of March, Kanjalo, there is a show for Umandlovu. Umandlovu is hosting at One Room as well. So please make sure that you guys check those out. Well, Mna and my team, it's definitely been a beautiful day. And all we're going to do right now is we're going to see you guys at Mbaf. And if you want to see the Team Guy Hangout, because it's definitely going to be there, so please make sure that niyawathenga amatikiti nathi sizakuthi hi, sithi hi with you guys. And yes, beautiful people, from me and my team, it's been a lovely hour, but okwangoku, we just have to do the sad part of saying our goodbyes. And yes, before you say goodbyes, please continue following us on social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV. And also our WhatsApp line, it is 083-690-0530. And yes, Kemnake on social media, it is untlentle_n. But okwangoku, saphinda sibonane kwakhona, same time, same place. Bye.